So, whenever we're feeling lost in life, it's usually because we've lost track of our anchors, our values. What is it again that's going to get me through this? Where is my compass? We have a tendency to overcomplicate things when we're feeling stressed. There are many options, many variables, scenarios that we can play out. But if we don't know what we really stand for, we may run around in circles. It's important that our anchors are really simple so that we can grab onto them when we need to. Sometimes it's just taking a breath, remembering to be kind to ourselves, treating our significant others with compassion, right? Because if we could do that every time there's stress in our lives, things would go smoother. But because life is not all sunshines and rainbows, we need an anchor and a value that can go even deeper, one that can handle more complexity, more mess, a value that's impossible to let you down. And in my opinion, if you want to be a relational human being, that value is relational growth. No matter what anyone else ever does, there is always an opportunity for relational growth. And the way I see relational growth, I could break it into three parts. The first is awareness of how we operate and why we do what we do. And that will expand out into understanding why other people do what they do or feel how they feel. What's the bigger context of our families, their families, the world, the pressures that we're under, the privileges that we have, how our minds work? That takes education and curiosity. The second piece of relational growth is boundaries with ourselves and others. Can we work with and contain ourselves when we want to lash out or have a shitty attitude? Do we know how to work with our stories about other people, to handle different personalities, to stand for what really matters to us, but also to have the flexibility to be in relationship with others when they think differently? And then the third piece of relational growth is our behavior. Do we actually put into practice what we say we stand for? Do we take care of our bodies and our emotional space? How do we deal with our finances, parenting? Do we search for experiences to feel connected and joyful? That's what I mean when I talk about relational growth. And what's really powerful about remembering this value is that it's evergreen. If you feel stress in your marriage, you've had a tough interaction, you get to go back to the drawing board. What am I missing here? This has helped me immensely in my life. I'm not perfect. I don't always get here immediately, but eventually I do. What am I not understanding about myself here and how I'm interacting? For me, sometimes it's historical. Why do I sometimes want to shut down and be by myself? Well, that's how I learned to deal with things as a kid. Some of it may be the personality that I came into the world with, but also I don't think my parents really knew how to lean into my space, ask questions, and hold space. So I learned to deal with emotions on my own. That's just one of my basic understandings. And as I've realized this, I can have more compassion for myself, that little boy who didn't get what he needed. And then I can also work with that strategy more when it comes up in my adult life. And I can see how sometimes when I'm shutting down and pushing away, what I really want is to feel safe. And I can see how pushing away is not going to get me the thing that I want. In order to feel safe, I have to lean in and speak up for what I need. I also need to behave in a way that Jenny will feel safe. I can't just expect her to help me feel safe while I'm not doing the same for her. This one realization has completely changed the way that I relate to my romantic partner. And sometimes I can even call it out in the moment. I'm wanting to do that thing where I shut down or I am shutting down. I need to take 20 minutes and then I'll come back. I don't know how things would be if I didn't understand that about myself. And I had to go through multiple rounds earlier on in our relationship of shutting down, feeling the pain and disconnection, and continuing to search for what was really going on, looking for an opportunity to grow relationally in order to get this nugget of information. And I find most people have a basic pattern that's pretty similar. When we don't feel safe, we want others to make us feel safe, but we lose track of what's going to help us get there. How can we help our partners feel safe enough to help us feel safe? It's a two-way street. It's a dance. One thing to understand about relationships at a very primal level is that we're always paying attention. We're watching how our partner behaves. And the question that we're asking is, can I trust them to be there for me physically and emotionally? And we're not going to stop tracking. This is an important part of how we survive in the world. If I need them, will they be there for me? If I don't think they will, I need to find safety somewhere else. It's a reality that this can be layered and complex. You might feel safe enough to be friends, do life together, co-parent, have some fun experiences, but you might not feel safe to really open up, share about your past and your insecurities and your fears. We're also watching how our partners treat others. If they have a short fuse and blow up on people, it's reasonable to think, wow, if I get on their bad side, they might do that to me. We're watching how they treat themselves. If they're continually overloading themselves and feeling stressed, we have a general understanding that they might not be able to be there for us when we need them. When clients come in to see me, often the thing that they're looking for is a better relationship, which is a perfectly reasonable goal. We don't have to change that, but we also have to understand the bigger context in which our relationship lives. If we're consistently at odds with our kids and our extended family and our work, good luck trying to compartmentalize that and not let it have an impact on your relationship. We have to look for ways to grow relationally in all the areas of our life. That's what will ultimately allow our partners to trust us more and want to be close to us. And we're doing the same with them. No one wants to be around someone who's stressed all the time, who doesn't do anything about it. Some men, and I know this might sting to hear, look to their partners to mother them emotionally. Here, I'll go out into the world and make money and get stressed, bump around and get bruised up. And then when I come home, I need you to not challenge me, to listen to me complain, make me dinner, rub my back, or let me isolate in my man cave. And it's just bullshit. There's nothing left to give to her. And then when she feels lonely or tries to help and it doesn't work, or feels like she's walking on eggshells around you, you blame her and tell her that her feelings are the problem. She asks for too much. She's too emotional. She needs to work on herself. Hopefully you can see the problem with that when I lay it out that way. A lot of men do this. The more empowered stance to take, again, coming back to the number one value to stand for, is relational growth. If I ask my partner, how are you feeling with us? And you get a negative report or you notice hesitancy, I'd get curious about that. Is there anything I'm doing or not doing that is contributing to her feeling that way? I'm not saying that she doesn't have her own stuff going on, but there's a 100% chance that you have an impact on her because this is your highest stakes relationship. And I wouldn't rely too much on her to tell you what to do. This is another trap that I see guys fall into. I sometimes do this. It's the, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? And I'll break this down really simply for you. No matter what she says, whether it's I don't know, or more fun activities, or more help around the house, what she wants the most is for you to reflect on that, to carry some of the emotional weight of that question. What does our relationship need? It's a much better strategy to set some time aside and be like, hey, I've been reflecting. Here are the ways I think I'm showing up well, and here are the ways where I think I'm falling short. And here are some ideas for how I can show up better. Maybe it's attitude, maybe it's behavior, maybe it's more attention. How do you feel about those options? And if it seems like you're on the same page, here's the kicker. Fucking follow through. You should have tangible evidence that you're working on this. If you want to work on your attitude, journal for 3 minutes every night. How was my attitude today? Or you can check in with your wife. How was my attitude today? How did it feel for you? I know I can't give everyone a one-size-fits-all homework assignment. These are just some ideas. If work is feeling stressful and you're bringing that into the home, maybe you should find a friend or coach or therapist to process that with. Where can I make changes? Do I need to delegate more? Do I need a hard cutoff time for work? Do I need better boundaries with the people I work with? Do I need to scale back some? Whatever it is, tangible evidence. If you two get into conflicts around parenting, read a parenting book. Then you're not just working off your opinions. You can say, hey, Dr. So and so says one thing we could try with child A is this, right? It's much more informed. And this continues to come back around to relational growth. There is always an opportunity. When things are going great, great, enjoy that. But when things are tough, this is life calling you forward. And the sooner that you can get that message, the better. Listen, I know if you're struggling in your marriage, you want the goal to be a better marriage, but that might be setting you up for failure because you're weighting a specific outcome more than you're weighting the process. And I've been thinking about this in terms of pickleball lately because I play a lot of pickleball. If my goal is to win tournaments and get my rating up, I may or may not succeed in that. I actually got third place in a tournament on Saturday, and I really wish we could have at least got second. We weren't going to beat the first place team, but we could have beat the second place team. Now, if my sole focus was to get first place, I would have been disappointed. And I probably would have felt like a sore loser. But instead, I was looking at it as an opportunity to just become a better pickleball player. What can I learn from this? What are the values that this meets for me? I get to be outside with my friends and be active, meet new people, and I can definitely walk away from that experience having learned something and being open to learning more. It's the same idea in your relationship. When things work out great, enjoy your gold medal. But if you don't, remember that the goal, the core value, the anchor is to become a more developed human being. That you can always work on and that you can always find success in. I hope that was helpful today. And go ahead and share this with a man in your life if you feel like they need to hear it. This is a short episode. It's free. I see a lot of men getting tripped up here, and they need to understand how to view life and relationships differently so that they can find success when they feel lost and confused and frustrated. Thanks for tuning in today. If you would, I'd really appreciate a like, a review, a share, a comment. I do this for free. And I also wrote a book a couple years ago, so I'll include a link to that in the show notes, along with my website. I'll see you next week.